Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that you have a verdict. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Are you the foreperson?
I am.
Could you please read your verdict?
On count 1 of involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. On count 2 of involuntary manslaughter in regards to Tate Muir, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. On count 3 as to involuntary manslaughter regarding Hannah St. Juliana, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. And in count 4 of involuntary manslaughter against Justin Schilling, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Thank you, forewoman. You can be seated. And I'm going to ask Ms. Williams to poll the jury.
Juror in seat number 1, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Juror in seat number 2, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 3, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 5, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 6, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 7, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 8, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 11, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 12, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 13, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 14, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 16, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that this is one of the hardest things you've ever done.
I think we could view it actually one of two ways. On the one hand, we can say we found the parent who we think was most responsible. We found the parent who had the duty, breached the duty, and was at least one cause. On the other hand, I think what we could say is we now have a situation where, based on what Ethan did, based on all the warning signs to both his parents, based on how both his parents helped him access the gun, failed to store it, were at the school, saw that drawing, that this now shows that criminal culpability is appropriate for him as well. I don't know which way that will break, but I frankly think you could argue it out either way in terms of whether or not this is bad for his father. I tend to think the fact that the jury was willing to say, yes, we're going to extend that criminal liability out, essentially one concentric circle, that's not good for him. This is a novel application of involuntary manslaughter and gross negligence, but I think the defense trying to cast this in the best way possible for them, and or the prosecution doing the same, I don't think that's going to be grounds for a successful appeal.